Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis and welcome back to another daily Q&A. Now I do apologize, I did not get out the pre-frag swap video on Friday night. There was just a ton of stuff going on. I finally finished up down here around 11:30ish, and I had to get up around 5 to get ready for the swap and get the kids ready and all kind of stuff like that. So I just wasn't in the mood to make a video, so I do apologize for that. But either way, the frag swap went very well for me. A lot of you guys came in from around the state driving upwards of 4 to 5 hours to see me. A lot of you guys said that you came to the swap just to meet me, which I really do appreciate it. Either way, I did very well, so thank you for all the support during the swap. Now, let's go to move on to our Q&A question, which comes from Aquatics. Travis, question, what is the best type of flow for nighttime mode? Constant wave, pulse wave, gyro wave, nutrient transport, tidal wave, or random wave? Now, I kind of look at this at two different ways. One, your fish are sleeping, so you don't want to blow them around the tank. I mean, you don't want your pumps, going from 0 to 100% all night long, just because you're probably going to piss your fish off since they're kind of sleeping and floating around. I know the big tangs and a lot of these sailfins, they like to float around the tank. The only fish I know that actually looks like they're sleeping is one of the wrasses. Back when I had the Melanoris wrasse, he always looked like he was sleeping in the rock. And the hippo tangs. I have two of them in the tank. You can actually see a little tail right there of one of them. They like to sleep inside the rock, so between the wrasses and the hippo tangs, those are really the only two that actually look like they're sleeping. But trust me, the other fish that are just kind of sitting there floating and hanging out at the bottom of the tank, they're sleeping, or at least I think they're sleeping. They're not swimming around, so they're sleeping to me. And the last thing you want to do is blow them around the tank with a really high amount of flow. So what I like to do, and what I've always done since the beginning really, is that during the day, while the lights are on, the pumps are pulsating, depending on the tank and how many pumps, between 80 and 100%, different wave, pulsing modes and stuff like that, just to kind of add a various flow. Now at night, I will have the pumps default down to about 30%. Now, depending on the pump, you can go lower, like around 10 to 15%, 20%, but because I have the majority of the pumps in here, actually pretty much all of them at this point, are JBOs. They say not to take the JBOs below 30%, at least from what I've read and what I've heard, because it can cause damage to the pump. So with that said, at night when the lights actually go off, the pumps do default down to about 30%. It's just a constant 30%, and they just stay like that until the lights kick on in the morning, and then they're programmed to go back to their normal pulsing and whatever else is I have going on through the variable dimming module. It's been a while since I looked at it. It's been the same stuff I've had for a few years now, and it works out pretty well. Now, the other thing to think about is if you ever look at your corals at night, you'll notice that your acropores are really fluffy and there's sweeper tentacles out. If you look at like a chalice or something, there's usually a ton of stuff hanging out. I know the big lobo right there at night is like double the size. It's like crawling up the rocks. It's crazy, just because they are feeding at night. Now, I haven't done a ton of research on this, but I do know that corals tend to open up, with the moonlight and just at night in general, because that's when they're trying to feed and catch the particles within the ocean. And I kind of feel they do the same thing here in the tank. So whenever I fed phytoplankton or coral foods, I always used to do that stuff at night, and minos and all that kind of stuff. When I did that before, I always dosed it right before the lights went off, and it seemed to do pretty well. The corals were pretty susceptible to it and whatever. But I don't have a lot of research backing up that method. I just figured that because they're open and they seem to be ready to feed, that was a good time to feed. So with that said, if you want to have your pumps, going about 30 to 40, 50%, depending on your tank and how many pumps you have, because you want to move nutrients around and you fed the tank prior to that, you can. But realistically, I'm more concerned about how the fish are going to be throughout the night. I don't want them getting blasted by a bunch of flow. So that's really how I approach it. Now, if you guys have any research on feeding corals at night or any links or anything like that, feel free to put that stuff in the comment section. I'm always looking to learn something new, but that's just kind of how I've approached the reef tank and my fish keeping throughout the year. So with that said, guys, hopefully you enjoy the video. If you have any more questions or you want to be a part of this series, feel free to put them in the comment section, and I will see you tomorrow with another video. All right, peace.